This is Noah. Noah, do you want to tell them what we're here for today?
To put in this.
What is that?
An NG tube, with all of this.
Noah has Crohn's disease, and Noah wears an NG tube. He gets overnight feeds. Some kids that have Crohn's disease put their tube in every night and pull it in the morning, and some kids like to just keep it in, and Noah prefers to just keep it in. Why?
Because it feels really uncomfortable to put it in.
Yeah, Noah told me before that he notices it more if it's been out for a while, so he prefers to leave his in. And some other people would prefer to take it out because they don't want to wear it during the day when they're not using it. We just tape it to the back of Noah's shirt during the day when he's not using it, and then it doesn't bother him. So Noah told me that it really helped him a lot when he was learning to put in his tube. We watched some YouTube videos of some other kids. There was Natalie and Zach and Josh, and we really appreciated their help because they showed us how they put in their NG tube, and it helped us learn how to do it. Noah, how old are you now?
I am 8.
And how old were you when you got Crohn's disease?
5.
And how old were you when you started putting in your own tube?
5.
So Noah's been putting in his own tube for 2.5 years, and we usually change it once a month, sometimes a little bit more often if we need to. That's worked out really well. Sometimes Noah gets his tube in on the very first try, and sometimes it takes a little while. It's taken us as short as 5 minutes to put a tube in, and it's taken as long as 3 hours to put a tube in. Kind of a lot of like, wait, just a minute, I'm going to do it. Oh, okay, wait, I need a minute. Oh, okay, I'm going to do it like that. But usually, typically, it takes us about 20 minutes. So I usually start off by, first of all, we've both washed our hands. So we have nice clean hands, and then I get my tape ready. So we usually use Duoderm and Tegaderm for the face tape. So I have the Duoderm extra thin, and I have cut it in a bunch of little pieces that are shaped like this. And so this is going to go on his face like that. And then I take the Tegaderm. They do make smaller Tegaderms, but I find that it works better for us if we use this one. This is 2.5 by 2.5 inches, and we just cut it in half like that. And then we also have a skin prep to get the oils off the skin so that it sticks a little better. I have a lubricating jelly. I have the NG tube. I have a marker to mark it with. I have a stethoscope to check the placement, and you can just get a real cheap $5 stethoscope. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. I have pH paper for checking the placement. I have 2 10cc syringes that have slip tip for the placement. When you're cutting your tape, you want to use actual bandage scissors. It makes a much cleaner cut. And the other thing with the tape is some kids like to use a sticker on it to make it so that it looks more like they have their face painted, and we did do that for a while, but now Noah said he just prefers to just leave it plain. Okay, so why don't we get started and show you how to put in an NG tube. So what are we going to start with?
We're going to start with taking out the old one.
Okay, so what I usually do is I just kind of loosen up the end of the tape a little bit for Noah.
And then you hold it.
And then he pulls the tape off himself. He really doesn't like me to take his tape off for him.
Okay.
That's stuck into your finger.
And then I keep it on for a couple seconds, and then...
Okay, so he just pulls it out. And any tips about how to make that easy?
Just pull it out fast so it doesn't last long.
Just the faster you get it out, the better. Now, I also always kind of double check that I'm right about how far I had the tube in last time. So last time I had it in 51 centimeters.
And also you want to take this off.
Yep, you're going to take that off. Go ahead.
Also, when you pull this off, you can pull the sharp part off. So
the pointy end off first is easier?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have our new fresh tube here. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is measure it for the placement. Now, I know what his measurement was last month, but that doesn't mean that he didn't grow. So we're going to check it again, right? So you're going to put the opening in the tube, not the end of the tube, the opening of the tube on the tip of his nose. And then you measure to his ear, right to the earlobe here. And then you find where the xiphoid is, right where your ribs meet here in the center. And you measure to 2 fingers below the xiphoid. And that's the measurement that you're going to put your tube in. So I'm coming up with about 50, a little bit past 50. All right. So Noah is going to mark it for us.
So it was
right here.
It was
right here.
50.
Like just a little past 50. Okay. So Noah's going to mark it with the Sharpie, and you want to draw the line all the way around the whole tube, not just on one side of it, so that it...
Yeah, we have learned from our mistakes.
Because sometimes the side that you marked ends up being the side that's taped to his face, and then you think, why can't I find the mark? There you go. So we have marked all the way around the tube how far we're going to put it in. All right. Now, you're going to take your guide wire. Some people don't use the guide wire, but we found that for us it works better to use it. But you're going to make sure that it wiggles. You don't want one that's stuck in the tube. All right, and then make sure you put the cap so that it's not moving while you're putting the tube. And make sure you cap your med port, because otherwise stuff will be coming out the med port while you're doing stuff. All right, so what you need is a syringe with just a little bit of water in it. And I'm going to flush it through the tube to make sure that a drip of water comes through my tube and it doesn't have any holes in it, and that it's patent, it's working. There you go. See, I got a drip of water through my tube. That also lubricates the guide wire a little bit, so it's easier to pull the guide wire out when you're done with it. All right, and well, let's do this piece of tape on your face first. So I'm going to switch sides. So his tube was on this side last month. So this month we're going to put it on the other side. So we're going to just kind of clean his face a little with the skin prep and put the new piece of Duoderm on his face. Just about like that. Okay. And we're going to put a little puddle of KY jelly here.
So that you can refresh the KY anytime you need to.
That's right, that's true, because sometimes if we take a false start, we end up needing a little bit again. So the things you want to have handy, you want to make sure that your stethoscope is right handy and that your piece of Tegaderm is right near, you know where those things are, because when you need them kind of quick, because once the tube is in, but before the guide wire is out, it's a little uncomfortable until you get that guide wire out, and then it's better, right? Mm-hmm. So while the guide wire is in, we like to try to check the placement quick so that we're not dragging it out. So now I'm going to take my syringe that had water in it off, and I'm going to put a syringe full of air on the end of my tube, because once we get the tube in, I'm going to squirt a little air through it and listen with the stethoscope to see if I can hear the air bubble go in his stomach. Right? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, I think we're ready to get started.
Yes.
So Noah holds the tube with 2 hands.
I like to hold it right here on this dot and up here, this line.
And then I hold where the mark is that we put so that he knows when to stop.
So I know where to stop and I can't go any farther.
That's right. And then I hold his glass of water handy for him so that he can sip the water while he's putting it. Okay. Now, remember, you're not putting the tube up your nose. You're putting it in your nose. So you're going straight back, like aim for your ear. If you're putting the tube in, you're aiming back this way. If you aim up your nose, you'll just tickle your nose and you won't get it anywhere, right?
And that happened to me a couple times.
Right, so he needs to be reminded. The other thing is, while you're doing the tube placement, how do you want to have your head?
I want to have it down.
Tipped down. So that's why I hold the glass of water for him down, because if he's holding his own glass of water, right,
I might throw up.
If you tip your head back, that's when it's going to end up going down the wrong tube, down the wrong pipe, and then it makes you cough, right?
It's going to make you throw up because I did that.
Did that ever happen to you when you put it down the wrong tube by accident?
You remember?
One time in 2.5 years, because he was tipping his head back too far. So now we remember to tip our head forward. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, good. Now get the smell. Keep going. Get past the block, and then just swallow, swallow, swallow. Don't pull it back out. Keep going. Don't pull it. Don't pull it. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Swallow, swallow. Okay. See, it's a drag when you get that far and then you take it back out. It'd be better to keep going if you can. Okay. Blow.
Yeah, that happens.
That happens.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens a couple times sometimes, and that's okay. Right? We're gonna do it again.
So now that I know that the quartz is clear for now.
That's right. Sometimes Noah tries to do it, and there's like a boogie in the way, and it can't get past it, and he has to really blow his nose. And sometimes we've even had to just go back to the other side of his nose, because the side feels blocked that day. So, yeah, you just got to work with what you got. Okay, ready?
Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Oops.
Oh, it's a fail.
It's okay. Don't drink all the
Don't
water
do
before you do
this.
it. Yeah, that's right. Don't put it in your mouth by accident or your eye either, right? Okay, go ahead. Right, so you're aiming for your ear, remember? Okay. Now once you get it going, keep going. Swallow, swallow. Drink the drink, 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 drink. Swallow, 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 swallow. Just a little bit further, bud. Like a half centimeter. There you go. Good. Wait right there. Here's my stethoscope. So I put the stethoscope on, and I put it on his stomach, and I'm going to squirt some air until I hear it bubble, and then I'm going to take out the guide wire. Okay, great job. Now I'm just going to tape it loose because we're going to check the pH. So I know now that I did not put it into his lung. It's not in his trachea, right? You're going to hold it on either end, right? Because I heard the bubble go into his stomach. So I know for sure that it's not in his trachea. But I don't know whether I have it in his esophagus or his stomach or his duodenum. I could have put it a little far or not quite far enough. So that's why we're going to check for stomach contents.
And this is what you need.
And pH, right. So I always find I'm a better chance of getting stomach contents out if I squirt a little air in first. So I squirt a little air in, and then I'm going to pull back on it. Now some people say if you use a 60 cc syringe that you'll have better...
something.
Yeah, a little. I think that's just what was in the tube. That you'll have better luck getting stomach contents. Sorry.
Mostly you just get water.
Uh-huh. Here, drink some water, bud. No, actually, like, drink some water. There's probably not much in your stomach. Okay? So sometimes if we don't get anything, what do we do? What do we do? This could mean that the tube isn't in far enough, or it could mean that the tube is laying in such a way that it's kinked a little, or it could mean that it's laying like with the hole against the side of his stomach or something, and I'm just not getting anything out. So what do we do when we don't get anything?
We should get up.
And well, you can do it here, I think, if you want. Lay down on your left side.
I don't think the camera.
We usually just go to the couch, right? But lay down on your left side.
I think those.
Right. There you go. Okay. So that was the difference. So now I've got some water that was in his stomach. Well, that's what it looks like. It was your stomach contents. And I have a little piece of pH paper. Now, the pH paper, if it turns to a
color
pH of 1, 2, 3, or 4, then that's stomach contents. If it turns to a pH that's like turning dark blue here, like 9, 10, or 11, then it's too far in. It's in the duodenum, in the small intestine. It's not in the stomach. And if you don't get any stomach contents, then it's just not in his stomach. It's probably in his esophagus, and you need to go forward a little bit. So we're going to put a little bit of it on our
yellow.
pH paper. And our pH is like about 4. And so what does that mean?
It means that it's okay.
In your stomach. Now what happens if the pH was like 7? What does that mean it was?
It was water.
It was just water. When Noah first got his tube, he was very uncomfortable for the first 3 days. And it kind of, I actually put a tube on myself too, when Noah was learning to put in a tube. And it feels kind of like you swallowed a spaghetti wrong, and you have a spaghetti kind of like you want to go because you have the spaghetti there until you get used to it. And then you don't barely notice it anymore, but it takes time to get used to it.
So you can roll up a piece of gauze.
Right. Noah found that when the tube wiggled around when he moved, it was annoying to him, and he really hated that. So he would roll up a little piece of gauze like this.
And then I put it in my nose.
Yeah, and then it kind of kept the tube stable and not moving around, and he felt like that really helped him. And he actually did that for the first 3 or 4 months probably, that he had the tube just to kind of keep it from wiggling around, and that felt better to him. So you're going to find the things that work for you. I have also made a little kit so that when the tape falls off for whatever reason or something, we have a syringe and some spare tape and some tape for his back, which is actually what we need more. The silk tape works really well for this, but we usually just take a piece of tape and tape his tube.
Turn around.
Turn around, bud. To his opposite shoulder back here. But the other thing that you can do is you can do it this way. You can take a piece of tape and just make a little flag on the tube, just like that. And then you take a safety pin and use the safety pin to pin to the back of his shirt. And when some shirts, the tape doesn't stick real well, but also if you're going to go in the swimming pool, if you wear a rash guard shirt or a t-shirt and just pin it, because the tape won't stick in the pool. This tape does stick in the pool. Noah is on the swim team. He swims with his tube in, and it's not a problem. And also when he takes a shower, we usually change this tape about every 3 days or so. It just starts to get wrinkled up on the edges and doesn't stick as good, and then we change the tape. And when we change the tape, he just holds it for me with his fingers. Go ahead, show them how you do it. He holds it here, and then I kind of loosen it, and he pulls it off, and then I put a new piece. So we do that every couple days. And this tube we usually change once a month.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. We hope that helps you when you need to put in your NG tube. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave us comments.